What's up everybody? Today I'm going to be taking you through the 4-step process of becoming a better designer in 2023 if you're trying to break into the professional sports design world this year. So let's get into it. These are kind of annoying. Let's get into it. So last time I made this video, I gave you 3 big tips. Those were start right now, get an internship, and make a portfolio and a social media. If you want me to dive in more on all those, go back and watch the first how to become a sports designer video that I made a year or 2 ago, and I break all that down and throw in some extra tips. I'm trying to give a fresh new look into my thoughts on this. So this year I'm gonna give you a simple 4-step process. I stole part of this from one of my favorite YouTubers. His name is Matty Hapoya, and he has a sign up in his office that says learn, make, repeat. So all I'm doing is adding in one word, and that is post. So this year you need to learn, you need to make, you need to post, and repeat that process over and 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 over. So you can learn through internships, which is my #1 recommended way. I spoke about internships in my other video, but the internships that I had made the most difference in my career of anything else. I did not go to school for this. I had no experience or knowledge of what I was doing, and I worked for free in an internship. Yeah, you're not gonna make any money starting out, but that's the cost of like learning and getting good at sports design. There's also school, which school and internships kind of go hand in hand. To me, an internship is going to be more valuable than school is in this arena. School will teach you a lot of things, but I feel like there are a lot of things that you are not going to be able to focus in on as much, especially if they don't have certain classes at the school you're trying to go to, or you can't get into a school that has certain classes that you want. There's just a lot of things that are less accessible and less real world. An internship is gonna like put you in it. You're gonna be in the thick of it. You're gonna make stuff. You're gonna have to make stuff. You're gonna get better. You're gonna have people. You can learn from them and you can get better. And lastly, YouTube is a great place to learn. Honestly, I haven't learned as much on YouTube as a lot of like the newer designers probably have. I've learned a lot of like specific techniques on YouTube, and that's a great place for that. You can search up things, but you can also just learn the basics, whether it's on my channel or there's a couple other designers and also just like Photoshop artists, that sort of thing. All these people can teach you a lot of things. I know Benny Productions is incredible at what he does, and he's got a great YouTube channel. And when Ethan J posts, it's always great. He doesn't post as consistently because he's so busy with his humongous clients like the NBA, but he's amazing. If you want to learn more, I do a lot of basic videos teaching the more beginner and intermediate levels of Photoshop and sports design on my channel. And I also just started a Patreon where you can access a lot of my Photoshop files, so you can go through, see what I did and how I did it. And then I also have YouTube videos that go like hand in hand with some of those PSDs, so you can literally walk through it with me on the video. So that's the learning step, and again, you can start on any of these steps and just continue to go around, but I would advise you just to keep learning, keep growing in that. The next step is obviously to make. So you want to be consistently making things, even if it's complete garbage, even if like it turns into nothing. It's all about practicing. I know a few designers who didn't have an internship and they didn't have the schooling. So what they did is like a 365-day project or a however many day project where they made a design every day. And every day you do that, you're gonna grow. Like it might seem like nothing's happening or like you're not good enough, but each day you make something, you're gonna grow. And I would recommend posting each day too, because you gotta get used to critiquing. You gotta get used to people seeing your work, even if it's bad. Also, if you want me to critique your stuff, send it to me. I don't always have the time to like look at everybody's stuff, but if I do, I'll look at it and give you some tips. So try one of those like however many day design every day plans and see if you can do it. I've never done it, but it's pretty impressive when people do that, and I know they grow and learn a lot from it. Also, ask people if you can do work for them for free to begin with. Like if there's just someone like a local sports team, a local high school team, like anyone that you can do work for and practice like real world working where there's no risk for them because they're not gonna have to pay you because you're starting out and you shouldn't get paid yet. It's gonna end up probably being worth it for both of you because you're gonna learn, and one day you will get paid. You can start to get paid and you can start to raise your prices as you get better and better, and people know who you are and how good your work is. There's a couple areas of design where you could get really good at, and it's nice to be able to have these skills. I would say you should get really good at 1 or 2 of these and maybe dip your toe into each of them, try each of them, and see which one is the most fun and the most impactful for you. There's motion graphics, which I've done like a good amount of. They're pretty fun usually. There's illustrations, which I don't do at all and I'm terrible at. There's lighting, which people like Design by Johnny or Benny Productions are all great at. Like Benny Productions is like the peak of lighting. Like to me, his brand and what he does is lighting. Like that is, it's incredible, and I do some of that, but like I'm not anywhere near his level. Again, these are just different skills that you can have, and I would say branding is another skill. with any of these skills, you're almost gonna have to have branding and that skill down. A lot of new designers don't have the branding skill. They're just like constantly making sick edits and like throwing stuff in different places and have different colors and different textures and whatever. And yeah, if you're really, really good, like top percent of people doing that, you might be able to get a job through that and people seeing that work of yours. But usually having branding in your portfolio is how you're gonna get more clients. And branding is simply like being able to stick to like certain textures, certain colors, certain styles of like things and like the same fonts used in like a package of graphics. So you don't have to stick to it forever, but like if you can show people that you can create like a package of a bunch of graphics that look well together and are branded well together, then that's gonna show people you're more professional and you sort of know what you're doing more than these other like younger designers who are just doing like sick edits and commitment edits and like just random stuff. The last one is a newer thing, but 3D is becoming more and more prominent and will continue to grow. So if you can get your foot into 3D design, which I've been like sort of looking to do, but just haven't done a lot of it yet, I think that's where a lot of things are gonna continue to move. So if you can dip your toe into that, or maybe add that to your skill set, I would definitely recommend getting into 3D design. And the last step of this is to post. You need to post because one, you need to be okay with people critiquing your work and seeing your work and seeing how bad it is or telling you how good it is. You need to get used to bad comments or people telling you what you can work on. Feedback of any sort, you have to get used to it all. Another one is to get a following, because if no one knows who you are, no one can reach out to you for work. And a lot of the projects that I've done or a lot of jobs that I've gotten have come from literally social media. People will just reach out to you. If they've seen you post, they see your work, they see how much people like it, they see how good it looks, they're gonna reach out to you. So you need to have that posted somewhere so that people can see it and reach out to you. And not only social media, that's the main place, but also you need like a real portfolio you can send people to that's more professional looking than just like a social media. You also need to post so you can kind of learn what is relevant. So like when you're just starting out and you're just making graphics just to practice, the more eyes are gonna get on your content, the more you make stuff that's relevant to the people that might see it. So if like the following that you have is more into basketball, then you want to be making stuff obviously that's more basketball relevant or like more star basketball player relevant. Like a lot of these people now are posting graphics of like a whole bunch of like legends like playing a basketball game together, or like, you know, Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, like, you know, standing on a court together face to face, like things that are going to impact people like mentally and emotionally, and they'd be like, wow, this is like pretty cool. They have NBA greats on the court together. Stuff that people wouldn't think about seeing, but that when they do see it, it just like is really unique, but also connects their brain to it because it's relevant to them. So know your audience, think about what might be relevant to them, and think about what might be interesting or cool or different to them that they haven't seen before, but that they're gonna think is like awesome. Lastly, you gotta repeat that process over and over and over. You gotta learn, keep learning, make once you've learned different steps and styles. In those 365-day projects or like projects where you're posting every day, maybe learn a new skill each week, and then all the graphics you make that week, use that skill in those graphics. No matter what, even if you're tired of using the skill, try and figure out different ways to use it. And that way you'll learn a new skill every week, and by the end of it, you'll have all these new skills and all this experience making graphics and posting graphics, because that's a big part of it too. Especially if you're making a graphic every day, like it's cool to show people that, because people want to see the progression. People want to know like how that progression goes for you and like what it ends up doing for you. I always find it super interesting to see when people are doing that and like stay committed to it. And again, don't be afraid to come to me for questions, for critiques. I have videos of mine and others that I can probably recommend to you for learning certain things or getting better at certain things. So continue to do that. Learn, make, post, repeat in 2023. And I'll see you in the next video.